Hi, welcome back to Spoonful of Jelly. And today we're home from the farmer's market, and I wanted to show you what we grabbed. This week was slightly different. Let's get into it. So this week we went to a different farmer that we've only been to once in a while at the same farmer's market we go to. They have some blackberries. We picked all we possibly could pick at our farm for blackberries, and that was roughly about a cup shy of blackberries. So that was my aim, was who has blackberries? Let me grab some so that we can get some barbecue sauce down in the crock pot today. So I'll go ahead and show you what we picked up, what we grabbed, and we spent $28 this week. Not the best deal, I would say, but because we don't visit this farmer often, we haven't built a relationship with them. We're just seen as another customer, which is fine for us. We are a customer and we enjoy fresh food, but I'll show you what we grabbed for $28. All right, so here are the blackberries. We'll be adding these to ours that we pick wild. It is a significant difference. Look how big he is. I'll show you guys when we go to make the sauce how much bigger a cultivated blackberry is compared to the wild ones that grow in our backyard that's been growing here since my grandfather was a little boy. So here we have these blackberries we're going to eat on. This is white and red raspberries, mostly white in there. So we're going to eat on these throughout the week. And we picked up a dozen eggs. This is what put us over. The hens do a good job. So that's what put us over. And then we picked up some potatoes for my son and I to enjoy with dinner. These are white potatoes. So we will cut those up and eat them. So this is what $28 got us this week. So one of the biggest things that we like to do is preserve food for the future with our farmer market run and also enjoy some this week. So we have raspberries to enjoy this week. We still have some fruit left over from last week. Eggs we'll enjoy this week, and of course potatoes we'll enjoy this week. We do have some veg left over, and also the garden is starting to do something. As slow and steady as it's been, it's starting to do something. But the blackberries, that is the start of the show, and that's what we're going to work on next. Come on, let's head to the kitchen and get that going. Okay, so guys, we're moving right along onto this saucy week, and we are going to do blackberry barbecue sauce. If you're new around here, my husband has an allergy to nightshades, and that includes tomato sauce. And majority of barbecue sauces have tomatoes in it. You can't consume tomatoes at all, or should not. So what I have tried and messed around with was a couple fruit-based barbecue sauces, and that's what we're going to get down in the crock pot today. Okay, so let's get started here. To the left, we have sugar, our seasonings, which consume of salt, cumin, garlic powder, onion powder, bay leaves, and pepper. And blackberries, the star of the show. The ones that kind of frosty on top are the wild blackberries I have been picking for the majority of July. I would say about the last week or two of June and July. I have a little knob of ginger hiding out here. Onion. This is apple cider vinegar that I have made myself. I'm so proud of myself. I'll be doing another large batch this fall. And molasses. All of this is going down into the crock pot on low, and then I'll bring you guys back. So let's go ahead and get this all in. Did I mention bay leaves? There's bay leaves too. I'm not going to measure it, just a big old glug. All right, mixy, mixy. Okay, let's get the lid on nice and correctly. And I'm gonna set this to low. And let's aim for, 5 hours. See you soon, crock pot. All right, about halfway through, let's check it out. Let's give things a stir. All right, so it's about 40 minutes left on it. Woo, steamy. And there you go, guys. Those blackberries have broken down to some delicious juice. Let's see. As the onions have fallen apart. So I'm going to go ahead and fish out the bay leaves. I'm going to keep the ginger and onions in here with the blackberries. If you have an immersion blender, feel free to pull that out. If you do not have an immersion blender like me, go ahead and, no, don't fall. Go ahead and put all the blackberries and as much of the liquid as your blender can hold to grind it up. And then we'll get it all strained. And go ahead and strain off the pulp from the blackberries, onions, ginger. Make sure that gets blended up. And get it back into your crock pot. Or you can get it on the stove if you prefer. Let's put the lid on halfway. I'm going to turn it to high. And it's about 1 hour and 20 minutes left on it. I'm not going to need 1 hour and 20 minutes on the crock pot for it to simmer out some of the hot liquid. This barbecue sauce is already starting to thicken up. I didn't even add honey this time. Sometimes I add about a good tablespoon or dollop of honey. And so I don't think I need it. This time, crew said it tastes good. So it will start to thicken up. It is not going to be as thick as commercial barbecue sauce because we did not add any gums to it or thickeners. So we don't want it super sticky. In order to get that super stickiness or thickness, you're going to have to boil it down so far. And we're fine with the consistency. So next we're going to move right along to pesto. I was able to grab a big bundle of basil from the garden, get that washed. There's some olive oil, chopped walnuts in a bag. I picked up a lemon from the grocery store, and I forgot to get more garlic, but I have 2 itty bitty pieces. Now we're going to walk along and make this pesto. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the garlic peeled, my itty bitty tiny garlic that I have, and get that into the small little blender, smoothie size blender. And then I'm going to get my lemon chopped. I know some people are like, use a cutting board. I have one. I'm just being lazy. So I'm going to go ahead and squeeze some of the lemon juice in here. Oh, seeds. Okay, so now I'm going to shove all the basil. It has been washed already. There's some water lingering in there from when they were rinsed off and washed. Okay, let's talk about the nuts. any nuts that you prefer. You can actually do this without nuts if you have an allergy or don't like the taste. I find that the creaminess of walnuts and cashews are really good in the pesto and the ways we use them. So I'm going to add about a third cup right on top. And then I'm going in with a big old glug. I usually wait till it starts to fill up towards the bottom. About, I don't know, 2 inches worth. It's not a great measurement, I know. But I've been making it for so many years. I know what it looks like. It is so dark and dreary outside today. After all that sunshine, when I picked the pesto yesterday and it come in, it's like, oh, today is not happy. Nonetheless, I have lemon and pesto. I'm going to add a dash of salt and go ahead and get this blended up. And yeah, that's about, 2 inches worth of oil at the bottom. So let's go ahead and finish. So it's a nice creamy consistency. Let me see if I could show you. The smell of this, it smells so good. So because this has oil in it, it needs to go into a jar or bag and into your freezer if you're not going to use it all today. So we do not can this because it has oil in it. And I'm pretty sure by the time you heat this basil up and then try to open it, it's probably going to be gross. I never tried it, but to each their own, you could try it. We freeze ours. And what we do is we take the little small jar down out the freezer, leave it on the counter for a few hours or even overnight. And then we could dollop this right over some meat, roast it in the oven, add it to pastas, make a whole layer of lasagna, you name it. It's so many things you can do with the pesto. So I'm going to give this a little taste. Okay. More lemon juice, more salt, and then I'll go ahead and put in a jar. So now we're going to move on to corn syrup. Remember the corn that we shucked last week? We're going to get all those cobs into a pot to boil. The water will start to turn a golden color. Remove the cobs. Measure the liquid and add equal down to 3/4 the amount of sugar. In my case, it was about 7 cups of liquid, so I'm adding about 5 cups of sugar. This will allow the liquid to turn into a saucy, syrupy liquid. We use this on pancakes when we run out of maple syrup. Our favorite way is to add it to homemade granola. That way, we don't have to use too much of maple syrup that costs so much, and honey, which is expensive too, and sometimes hard to come by a natural source. Can it up into the jars, and you'll be able to water bath this or pressure can it. I usually pressure can everything. One reason why we put a concentration on syrups and sauces here on our mini homestead is because it's what gives meals its flavoring. Along with seasoning that you can grow and buy from the grocery store, you can also flavor it with sauces. Sometimes when times are difficult and money is short, you wish you had something a little sweet or a little tangy to pour over. I hope to see you guys next week as we dive into some more saucy flavors. Take care. Bye-bye.